Good morning and good evening. I'm Wolf Spider. You may know me back when I was Starve Productions. I did stop motions and animations. Or you may know me from TikTok where I did a curse trend.
Just got franced. Share this with your friends to totally France them.
But today I'm going to spin a new web for you. I'm going to be talking about Mario Kart. It's something that I really enjoyed as a kid and something I've come back to a lot in the recent few months as an adult. And also I figured it's my channel, why not talk whatever I fucking want to. Since I'm a mostly normal human being who likes to put his opinions on the internet for no one else to care about, I'm going to be ranking the Nitro Grand Prix tracks from Mario Kart Wii, or as the game calls it, the Wii Grand Prix, because back then the name Wii had to be everywhere. I'm not going to be doing a top 10 type shtick for this video because a lot of people do that, and I'm the type of guy who can't pick his favorite for anything. It makes me a really obnoxious person to stand behind in line.
Welcome to Death Row. How would you like to die?
You know what? The electric chair seems exciting, but I don't know, the guillotine seems like it'd be a fun experiment, you know?
Man, we've waited here 24 hours. Can't you just pick something and die already?
So for this video and potential future videos after this, I'm going to be using the classical tier system, which is the S, A, B, C, D, F, because I will never have a favorite Mario Kart course. However, for this video, we're gonna skip D and F because I like all of the new Mario Kart tracks from a range of alright to that's epic! So we're gonna start off with C, and I'm going to start off talking with a track that most Mario Kart fiends would put in the C category, Luigi Circuit. Overall, it's not a bad course in my opinion. I think it's a great course to start on, get a feel for the game's mechanics and whatnot. But beyond that, I think I could sum it up in one word. Visually, it's not the best of the game, but let's be honest, Mario Kart Wii is not known for its state-of-the-art graphics. It borrows so much from the GameCube. Still, I think this course would have been more interesting visually if it had the sunset textures and lighting used during the credits of the game, or even had it at night similar to Mario Kart Stadium. The layout is more basic than the tracks on the Super Nintendo and the Game Boy, and it really only works because it isn't completely flat like the ones in those games. It's the only Luigi-themed track to not return to a game later on, which kinda makes sense. Despite its shortcomings as a track, I do like the music composed for it, and if you listen closely, you can hear sections of it repeated in other parts of the game. With that, I think it's time to finish off C tier with Dry Dry Ruins. Now keep in mind, I've never been a big fan of the desert tracks in Mario Kart games. At least the ones that are just yellow the whole time. Calamari Desert and Bone Dry Dunes are perfectly fine. But what makes Dry Dry Ruins better than your typical yellow desert track is that you get to drive through the ruins often seen in the background of desert tracks. I will take your entire stock. Getting to half pipe through the ruins and having a change in scenery is the saving grace of this track for me. But the falling sand at the end is annoying, and while I appreciate the fact that the music doesn't sound like the stereotypical Middle Eastern-esque desert theme, it's kind of forgettable to be honest. However, I do like the Yoshi Sphinx in the course. It's a nice nod to Yoshi Desert from Super Circuit, the most forgotten Mario Kart game besides the arcade titles. Now that I've finished C tier, I think it's time to move on to B tier, starting with Moo Moo Meadows. This is not a bad course. I love the music, and it is a more interesting track than the one preceding it, which is Luigi's Circuit. I think it's a neat callback to Moo Moo Farm from Mario Kart 64, taking that theme, then expanding on it and giving it a fresh new look. Now I could go and complain about the Moo Moos blocking the road, but everyone else does that, and I honestly don't mind them that much.
You're a disgrace to society.
I think the Moo Moos provide a little bit of a challenge to the course and add to the farm theme. What I don't like about this track is the hills, like they are just obnoxious to deal with. I'll be in first place and then have to navigate through the labyrinth of these hills and then like 40 other drivers will pass me. It's probably why I like the Mario Kart 8 version of this track more, because you could just glide right over and people stay behind you.
See ya, chump.
Plus, this version looks a lot better overall. The dirt looks like dirt, and the sunset adds much needed variety to the track. Because in Mario Kart Wii, just like every other track in Mushroom Cup, Moo Moo Meadows happens during the day. But enough about that. Let's move on to a track that everyone seems to love, but I personally think is overrated. Maple Tree Way. Again, I don't hate any of the new tracks in Mario Kart Wii. In fact, I think Maple Tree Way is unique in its layout because, well, it's the treetops. You drive through and around a big-ass tree with wigglers walking on it, but you might also get a mushroom if you drive through a pile of leaves.
Oh boy, a mushroom! Oh, ew, gross.
And those are the things I like about this track, but what I don't like is how everything is orange and yellow. Would it have killed Nintendo to add more variety to the color palette? Something that I do like that Nintendo changed on the 3DS version was removing the net and replacing it with a glider launch pad. It flows much better, but it does not have the half-pipe ramps from the Wii version. So to me, there is no definitive version of this track. Onto Mario Circuit. As said by Scott the Woz, this track feels a lot like the GameCube's Mario Circuit, which for some reason is in this game too. But now there's a town! This is the track that the winning 3 racers drive on during the award ceremony. Like Luigi Circuit, Mario Circuit is one of those basic character-themed tracks, but unlike Luigi Circuit, this one has more variety in the color scheme. And the layout is slightly more interesting, with shorter and tighter turns and a tunnel. And do you remember how I said certain parts of Luigi Circuit's theme can be found in other parts of the game? Mario committed plagiarism against Luigi! Prior to Mario Kart 8, the series had a tendency to repeat pieces of music for different tracks in the game. Now, that's always been a thing in the Mario series, mostly to compensate for the lack of storage space on whatever the game came on. As technology advanced, however, composers were able to create more original music for the games, which means that in Mario Kart Wii, the only theme that repeats between tracks is the one used for Luigi and Mario Circuit. And honestly, I'm not complaining, it's a good song and I think it fits both tracks really well. Overall, Mario Circuit is not a mind-blowing track, but it's not a bad one either. So, let's move on to Grumble Volcano. Yet another track that I like more in Mario Kart 8. It adds more variety with the glider ramp right after exiting the cave, but on the Wii, yeah, you just gotta drive on those little islands like a peasant. Plus, I think the Mario Kart 8 version has the better visuals, it looks cleaner and crisper. As a kid, I hated this track because I'd always drive on the falling sections by mistake and fall in. But I was bad at the game back then. I didn't know what the first place anthem after completing a track sounded like until I was 11. Now, I think it adds a nice challenge to the track and it sets it apart from other lava-themed tracks in the series. There's not much else to say about Grumble Volcano, so let's move on to the final B-tier track, Moonview Highway. Since the 64, Nintendo always had a desire to put city tracks into Mario Kart, and this is one of the more tolerable ones to race on, especially once you get out of the woods and into the city where the track gets exponentially wider, and there's less chance for you to get clapped by a Moo Moo Meadows truck. The toll booths pretty much exist only for the city aesthetic, but I appreciate this because Toad's Turnpike could never have this amount of detail. The course layout is not that interesting, and it would not be special cut material if it weren't for the oncoming traffic and the ramp off the cliff at the beginning. And though I like the added detail that really makes this feel like a city, the layout feels lacking in comparison to the Night City track in Double Dash, Mushroom City. Alright, B tier is done, so let's move on to the A tier. And we're gonna start with Mushroom Gorge. This track is a great track to have in the first cup of the game. This was the first track to have bouncy sections in the series, which come back in the following games. And boy does Mushroom Gorge go all out with them. This track is probably one of the best mushroom-themed tracks to date, and is such an iconic course that it came back in Mario Kart 7. What can I say? It's just a fun track to play on. Now let's move on to a track that is somehow in A tier, Daisy Circuit. Now, I hate the character Daisy with a burning passion. Playing as her in Smash basically puts a target on your back if I'm in the room.
I don't know. I'm gonna play as Daisy.
But for some reason, Daisy Circuit, I vibe with it really well. The music, the sunset aesthetic, fantastic. The layout isn't boring and it kind of looks like Pink Panther to me for some reason. It's not the most complicated course out there, but it pulls off the simplicity much better than Mario and Luigi Circuit do. It's a unique track in the game because most other tracks have some sort of chaos going on in them and have a much faster pace going. And there's something, I don't know, special about the music. It suits the vibe very well. The only thing that really throws me off about this track is the Baby Daisy and Baby Luigi statues. Hey Nintendo, are you shipping minors? Let's leave that behind and move on to Bowser's Castle. So I'm really not sure if Nintendo was trying to cut corners or pay tribute to Double Dash's Bowser Castle, because the entrances to both are very similar. Now I think it's neat that the Wii version spins some elements of the GameCube, making the floor wavy and adding lava bursts near the finish. There are some borrowed assets from the GameCube, making it harder for this version to stand out, but it's not the only track in the game to do so. On top of that, all the thwomps are the same ones as seen in Double Dash. But part of what puts this track in the A tier for me is that this course takes the fireball spitting Bowser statue to a whole new level. It spits them straight at you, making it necessary to trick off the half pipes. Have I mentioned how much I like half pipes in this game? What's really interesting about this track is that the music borrows pieces from 2 other songs. The most obvious is probably the castle theme from the original Super Mario Bros., but the other one is from Mario Kart Wii actually. If you listen closely, you'll recognize the theme as Maple True, but slowed down, pitched down, and a lot more sinister. Bowser's Castle is a good course with some minor nitpicks, but you really only get those nitpicks if you've played both Wii and Double Dash, which I have, and I honestly liked Bowser's Castle on the Wii a lot more before I played it on Double Dash. Let's keep going and reveal the track that caused my childhood trauma. Wario's Gold Mine was really fucking difficult when I was a kid. All I could do was fall off, get hit by bats and mine carts. then I could hope to catch up with the bullet bill. However, like with other tracks in the game, I improved over time and now, it's really not that bad and I have fun with it. It's the closest thing to a roller coaster in Mario Kart! It's the closest thing to a roller coaster in Mario Kart! For some reason, Wario's Gold Mine reminds me of the weird-ass roller coaster arcade games, and honestly, it works really well in Mario Kart. When I talk about the chaos of Mario Kart Wii, this is one of the tracks I mean, and I absolutely love chaos. Some of the sounds used for the music of this track remind me of sounds used in the N64 soundtracks, specifically the slider theme from Super Mario 64 and Choco Mountain from Mario Kart 64. But I've used far too much of your time already, so I'm going to speed things up with the final A-tier track, Toad's Factory. This track has a unique idea behind it, being the exploration of how power-ups are made. Kinda throws a wrench in the original story where power-up blocks were just toads transformed by magic. But you know, this origin is less dark, so we're gonna run with this one instead. While the layout isn't the most complex thing ever, I have fun with this track, and the music certainly helps with that, until it unnaturally starts over once you trick out of the factory. This hurts my musically inclined mind! Alright, let's move on to S tier with DK Summit. Ah yes, the first of many half-pipe ramps in this game. This course was literally designed with the entire purpose of half-pipe tricks, and I love it! That and the cannon at the beginning makes this my favorite snow-themed track in the Mario Kart series. And I'm the type of guy who can't pick his favorite for anything. I knew that'd come back to haunt me. DK Summit makes me think of DK Mountain from the GameCube, which is also in this game. Just being shot up the mountain and then having to traverse your way down, only to do it again. It's even better the second time! The track is challenging, but not Wario's Gold Mine challenging, which makes it a little more fun in some aspect. Also, who doesn't rock out to the music of this track? The only thing kind of bizarre about a track named after Donkey Kong is how the statues are of Mario snowboarding, which is something Scott the Woz points out, but since his Mario Kart Wii video, the dreadful Mario Kart Tour corrected that mistake and put the statues of Donkey Kong in Mario's place. Yeah, that spells Mario. Moving on to Rainbow Road. Another course I hated as a kid, but enjoy much more as an adult. This track has you use everything you've learned from the other tracks and puts it into one final space track. Unless your friends choose this track first when you've never played before, then I am so sorry for your loss. The music for any Rainbow Road never disappoints, and Wii Rainbow Road is not an exception. Unlike SNES Rainbow Road, it keeps coming back. Why won't it stay dead? Also, has anyone else noticed how Rainbow Road's layout looks very similar to Daisy Circuit's? Let's continue things with Koopa Cape. Koopa Cape is a fun one. You start out in a carved out part of the mountain, continue down a rapid stream of water, take a warp pipe underwater, and do it all again. Another track I think has a fun chaos to it, but one where you're not gonna fall off the edge every 10 seconds. Also, the music is absolutely bonkers and I'm all here for it. It'll even change based on what part of the stage you're on. With that, we're gonna look at the final S tier track. You probably already know what it is, so no need for the drum roll. Coconut Mall, one of the most iconic Mario Kart tracks out there. How is this not S tier? You're driving through a mall. It was one of my favorite tracks as a kid and it still is. Sure, the Mii drivers can get annoying, but come on, it's Coconut Mall. You can see all the Miis you've made as you drive past, or as they run you over. You listen to an incredible piece of music, which I think adds to the iconicness, well, whatever, the music makes the track more iconic. But based on how I ranked these tracks, which cup is the best of the game? Let's look at the stats. So, according to Math and Bias, Flower Cup is the best cup in the Wii Grand Prix. But I could have told you that was my favorite cup without this whole ranking shit.